Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. The West Indies T20 squad is in Dubai as players prepare to defend the ICC World T20 title. The tournament to be held in the UAE and Oman will bowl off on Sunday. The Windies will begin their campaign on the 23rd of October against England, and head coach Phil Simmons is pleading with fans to support the team. Simmons and his co-selectors have been heavily criticised for the squad picked for the World Cup. Speaking to the media after arrival in Dubai, this is what Phil Simmons had to say. People need to back us in the things that we do. Sometimes we are closer to things than the people who are commenting outside. We need to be backed in the decisions that we made. And right now we need the backing and the good vibes because we are going into a tournament in 10 days' time. Meanwhile, team captain Kieron Pollard says it's pointless discussing the makeup of the squad at this time.
One thing I realized in life, and I've come to understand, is that no matter what you do, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So even if you pick John Brown, Jim Doe, or Tim, we'd have criticism. Whatever you do well, you still get it. So for us, we focusing on what's at hand, and this is a group of guys that we have, and this is a group of guys selected to go and try to defend a World Cup T20 trophy. So that's what it is.
Yeah, still on the makeup of the squad, Captain Pollard refused to comment on the non-inclusion of mystery spinner Sunil Narine.
The wickets down there in the UAE seem to be, if you bowl well as a spinner, you get wicket. And we see that our very own Sunil Narine lighting up down there. I'm sure you probably wish you had him in your squad now, based on the form that you're showing.
Are you trying to imply something by chance?
No. I'm just saying that it would be nice if you would have a informed Sunil Narine in this World Cup squad. What do you have to say about that?
I have no comments on that. I think enough has been said, on that. I think persons have explained the reason of his non-inclusion at this point in time. And for me personally, obviously I know Sunil as a friend. First, before international cricketer, we grew up playing cricket together, and he's a world class cricketer. As I said previously, that has been explained. If I add my 2 cents or my words in how his non-inclusion came about, then it could be spinned or spun just like how he's bowling well and discharge our wickets in all different directions. So for me personally, let's deal with the 15 guys that we have here at this point in time, which is more important. And see if we can rally around these guys and see if we can, defend a title.
Yeah, I wonder there what is Polly saying that he isn't saying. Of course, the news coming from the selection panel was that he didn't meet the requirement fitness standards, so that's why Sunil Narine isn't in. But I think looking at his performances in the IPL so far, any onlooker to the West Indies cricket setup would wonder or hope that things could have been different and he could have been in the team.
And they have been wondering because, of course, a lot of people asking questions. Well, if he's unfit, how is he able to do these different things? And as of recently, we saw him bowling and batting and doing very well with both. So, Lance, I think it's a fair question to ask. And, with many people saying, how is he unfit? What was the fitness test used to judge him? Because that was the only explanation we got, the fact that, all right, Sunil Narine is not fully fit, so he has been excluded. And I mean, you're a sensible person looking on can tell the man is fit enough to take 4 wickets and bat. So then what type of fitness test was that?
Does Sunil Narine mind not being in the squad?
Well, nobody has heard from Sunil Narine on this topic.
And Sunil Narine, for whatever reason, has often been absent from West Indies squads, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Look.
I wish I could hear from him.
Oh yes, the question posed by the interviewers, valid questions. They had to be put, and I'm very happy they put them. So, not having any quarrel with that. Pollard's attitude that let's move on from criticizing squad selection or questioning squad selection. I'm also with that point as well. Because I think we have to reach a place where the job at hand becomes the main focus of our discussions. For how much longer are we going to quarrel about who was picked and why not and for what? And that's the point I'm making. So I'm agreeing with Pollard that the time to talk about squad selection is past. Now let's look forward.
And even like some of the other questions, right? Because I happened to just listen to just the opening for some time, and they were asking about, you know, how ready is Chris Gayle and all these different things. And, you know, some of the questions too made me wonder because, you know, he wouldn't know just yet. It's only when they come out of the quarantine and they start. So, you know, they're asking him about how, do you think Chris Gayle has charged up after the break? You would, and you know, his response was something about like an iPhone battery. You just charge them up and hope that they can, but you know, I think that was like a sensible response because we can't tell until George, they suit up and they get ready to play the actual match. And he spoke about the pride that these cricketers have when they play international cricket. So I feel as if he believes there'll be a different mood in the camp when they represent West Indies come the World Cup. Now, I don't expect them to just flip a switch, but I feel like there'll be a difference.
Yeah, well, you know, Lennox Aldred, who was asking the questions there about Sunil Narine, is doing his job as a journalist because we know that Kyron Pollard was one of the consultants in the selection process. So it's fair for a journalist to ask, but I agree with George 100%. Kyron Pollard's response was excellent. The time for discussing the composition of the team is over. They're getting ready to play cricket. So as the captain of the team and a spokesman for the team at the moment in the UAE, the captain has done the right thing, shifting the focus to what is at hand, which is preparation for the World Cup and defending the title.
Yeah, you know, as a writer to this, there's a story that broke today about Chris Gayle's angry reaction to some comments made by Sir Curtly Ambrose on the Mason and Guest show, which is aired in Barbados. Chris Gayle saying that, you know, Ambrose is trying to get some attention because Ambrose told Mason and the Guest that he doesn't believe that Gayle is an automatic selection. You know Curtly Ambrose, he doesn't use foul language. He's forthright, but he doesn't denigrate, nor does he look to traduce with his comments. Now, I was a little surprised by the strength in Chris's response, because if Curtly Ambrose says he doesn't think Chris Gayle is an automatic selection, I were Chris Gayle, I'd say, well, you know, respectfully, that's not Curtly Ambrose's call. That's the coach's call. Yeah. So let's see what the coach does.
You're entitled to your view.
Yeah, but the strength or the fury with which Chris Gayle responded has left me wondering if there's something more than what was reported that Andy said.
So what he said?
Well, that's what Sir Curtly said. Sir Curtly said,
what Chris responded?
Chris said that that when he sees Ambrose, he will tell him to his face that he's talking nonsense.
Yeah, and he said something, he's finished with him. He says he's finished with Curtly.
I'm finished with him. I will never. I've lost all respect for him.
Yeah.
And that he said that there are people who are criticizing him who he will disrespect to their face. I was shocked by that, and I'm like, Chris, hold on, Chris. This doesn't seem like you. Even with the forthrightness with which Chris Gayle usually speaks. So I'm just saying that maybe there's a little bit more to that, but I'm surprised. But in the general atmosphere, though, of criticizing the players, you know what I would have done had I been Phil Simmons yesterday? And sometimes people in the fray get the advice to do things a certain way, they don't, and they cause a problem that could have been cauterized to fester. And other times, people in the fray don't get the quality advice they need from the communications perspective. So I don't know which is it in this case. But here's what I'd have done had I been Phil Simmons. I would have known that Kyron Pollard would at some point have to face the media. And I would have known that had I failed to address certain points about certain players that have been controversial in recent times, that the responsibility would have fallen on Kyron Pollard's shoulders. Now, Kyron Pollard has been busy in the IPL, hasn't he?
Yes, CPL straight to IPL.
Right. So he doesn't have the benefit of sitting down and assessing like the coaching staff does. So Phil Simmons has had that luxury. Pollard has not. Had I been Phil Simmons yesterday, I would have taken my main squad and my travelling reserves, and I would have gone through them one by one to say, all right, folks, Obed McCoy, his status is this. Andre Russell, we know that his hamstring injury is this, but we expect so and so and so. Chris, I know there's been talk about Chris and his selection, but this is what we expect from Chris. We picked Chris because of so on. I'd have gone through every player. Today, Pollard wouldn't have had to face these questions from Lennox Aldred and company. Again, they were doing their job and they were correct to question him. But Pollard could have had a different narrative around his appearance today. And even if questions were brought back about players, Pollard could have said, well, coach spoke a couple of days ago and he addressed the players individually. So Phil Simmons is taking the pressure off Pollard to ensure that this thing doesn't carry over to his captain, who is then put in the invidious position of having to talk about player fitness when he has been away playing his game with the IPL and not knowing the condition of certain people who we can't see in the IPL day by day with him. And even so, it's not Pollard's job to run the rule over players. That's a coaching staff's role.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, had I been the communications person, I would have said, Phil, coach, you can do it. Prepare yourself. Just go by the players individually to head off certain questions. And then by the time your captain speaks, hopefully it will be the team and the team's prospects rather than him being asked about selections.
And he did say that today, that it's not his role to really talk about until the players are assessed. Because that question, something along those lines was posed to him, George. And he did say that he don't assess the players. So, with time, when that is done, he'll be able to tell the journalists some more.
Yeah, I would just like to put on record my shock at Chris Gale's comments today about Curtly Ambrose. I didn't hear the entire interview, but Curtly did say that he agrees with Chris Gale being in the World Cup squad, and he did not think that Chris Gale is finished. So his comments weren't entirely disrespectful of Chris Gale's current abilities. He did say that he didn't think he's an automatic selection, which Curtly Ambrose is in his right to say. He was on a program being questioned about the West Indies team, and he now is playing the role of an analyst. So if you're a broadcaster or you're a host of a talk show, as Andrew Mason is, and you put questions to Curtly Ambrose, he's going to answer those questions.
May I just read what Chris Gale said for the benefit of the viewers?
Yes.
So the quote is, Chris Gale, I am speaking about Curtly Ambrose. I am singling out Curtly Ambrose, one of your own. I highly respected him when I came into the West Indies team. When I just joined the team, I looked up to this man. But I am now speaking from my heart. I don't know since he retired, what he had against Chris Gale. Those negative things he has been saying within the press. I don't know if he's looking for attention, but he is getting the attention. So I'm just giving back the attention which he requires and which he needs. I am finished with Curtly Ambrose. I have no respect. Anytime I see him, I will tell him as well. Stop being negative. Support the team ahead of the World Cup. This team has been selected and we need past players to support us. We need that. We don't need negative energy. In other teams, their past players support their teams. Why can't our own support us in a big tournament like this? We've won the tournament twice and we'll be going for the third title. The team has seen what is happening. It's going to reflect on the team. If the past players continue being negative, I am Chris Gale, Universe Boss, is going to be disrespectful verbally in their face, in the media as well. I am not going to take anything from any senior player. Curtly Ambrose, pull your socks up, all right? Support for the West Indies, okay? Support West Indies. That is the thing. Now, Gale's angry comments, the article says from Crick Nation, were a reaction to Ambrose's comment to a radio station in Barbados. This is what Ambrose said. No, Gale is not an automatic choice for me. The few home series West Indies just played, he had no scores of significance, and I have said before that if he did not do well in those home series, he should not go to the World Cup. However, he will be at the World Cup. But for me, he is definitely not an automatic choice for starting. If he gets it going on the day, he can be destructive. But he has not done much in the last 18 months or so to really make me think he will set the World Cup alight. Ambrose told Mason and Guest Show he was there along with Kenny Benjamin as well. And the article says Kenny Benjamin had a similar view. So Chris, we are, you know that we are huge fans of yours, Chris.
Definitely.
Chris, I think you over-egged the pudding there. I think you overdid it there. But there must be something else that we don't know about, because for Chris to react that way, it can't be just that. I refuse to believe that. He's
like a laughing, jovial, happy person, so...
Yeah, but Chris is threatening to be disrespectful in the face. And
George, maybe there's something there we don't know.
Come on, Chris. What we heard, what we just read, can't meet all. I don't think so.
Something's missing.
Yeah.
We go to break.